Welcome to season 3, episode 1 of Coffee and Hardcore. And we're starting this year out a little different because Wiley's out on baby hiatus, and we've got Steven Scopa with us right now.
I am here. I am ready to rock and roll. I guess a huge shoes to fill, Wiley. But yeah, this is awesome. Second time on the show, so here we go.
Yeah, and this is a good show too because and you're the one that hooked us up with this. We got Ryan from One Step Closer on this episode.
Oh yeah, probably one of my favorite bands in the scene right now. Awesome having Ryan talk with us and chat for a while. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, rad dude. And I completely didn't put 2 and 2 together, and he talks about it in the well, actually you bring it up, but his other band, Anxious,
yeah,
they just released a 3-song, and I think their full LP drops. It'll drop before this episode.
Yeah, it'll be out, I believe, tomorrow. Because we're recording a little early, but yeah, I think tomorrow that's gonna be probably an instant album of the year. Yeah. The first 3 songs got me already like wanting the rest of the album like right now.
Yeah,
so
I'm pretty jazzed. So
yeah, it's good stuff. A bunch of I think he said like Pennsylvania and Connecticut kids.
Yeah,
playing some hardcore. So it's cool stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So we get to pick his brain for a little bit. We got some killer album reviews. Like we're doing 5 albums this time.
Oh yeah, we're loaded up and ready to go.
And of course, some coffee reviews. But we did want to give a little bit of update on Wiley and Libby. Beautiful boy, Otto Willis is in the world with us. And yeah, cute kid. Super cute kid.
Super cute. We're getting photos already.
Oh, I know. It's like every 3 seconds. Boom.
Oh yeah.
Otto.
It's awesome.
So, but
he's just getting going.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy. I know you dig hockey a lot. Yeah. We dig hockey in our house. The Willis family digs hockey a lot. So we're constantly shooting text messages and Facebook Messenger stuff. And the other night we got into this thing with Wiley and Libby where like the Ducks were playing the Red Wings, and they're a Red Wing Duck family. We're a Duck family. We're recently Duck family because we got tired of rooting for the Blackhawks because they always seem to lose. But we're like, we're gonna root for somebody that's at least doing something, and we kind of always like the Ducks because of the Mighty Ducks. But yeah, we had this little bet going with Candy. We were like, if guess the score, and I guessed the score. I said they were gonna win by Ducks would win by 2, I think, or 1. I can't remember. But anyway, I got
awesome.
Candy. And so I wanted M&Ms, and he sent me these freaking vegan M&Ms. Aren't too bad. And I think the other one was supposed to be like a Twix or something, and he sent me vegan Twix. And I'm listen, the M&Ms are good. The vegan Twix, I don't know, man.
Not good.
No, man.
It's definitely hit or miss.
Yes. So, all right, we got a good show for you guys. So stay tuned. Here we go.
Let's get into it.
All right, we are kicking the year 2022 off with a bang. We got Ryan from One Step Closer with us. What's going on, man?
How's it going, man?
Going good. So awesome. Yeah, man. So awesome to have you on Coffee and Hardcore. Like, I was telling Steven a little bit before we jumped on, like the first time I heard you guys, a friend of mine was recording a show he was at in Kentucky, like right before the pandemic hit. It was a fest in Kentucky. I cannot remember the name of it.
LDB Fest.
Yes, that's it. That's it. And he was totally like, just like every 5 seconds, just dropping videos. And then I'm watching all these crazy bands, and then you guys pop on, and I'm like, what? Who is this? And like, I have to know. And so like instantly going and downloading your stuff and digging it, man. So it's so cool. And like one of the first things I said was like, we've got to somehow get these guys on the podcast. That'd be so cool. And dude, here you are.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was probably, I mean, that was one of our last, I mean, we played a couple after that, but that was like one of our last big shows before the pandemic. And that was easily like probably top 3 favorite sets I've ever played, like ever. Just because that whole fest, it was at a skate park and like we all skate and stuff. And like, so that's like, one big draw. And it was just, I don't know, the whole thing just had, it was like kind of like how I was saying about FYA, like it just had a really good vibe. Every band was getting cool reactions and everyone was just stoked to be there. So it was just a really good time.
Wow. That's all. Yeah. Cause it seemed like everybody was into it too. So that's cool. So
yeah, that was probably one of the craziest sets we've ever played too. So,
so how did you guys get started?
So I've been doing bands with our drummer Tommy since I was like 15. I think that's when we started one of our first bands, and then we kind of just did like 2 silly hardcore bands that like we didn't really know what we were doing. We were just kind of starting out. We were just kids, kind of first time making music and stuff. And then I heard a band called Turning Point for the first time when I was like 16, and I fell in love with it like immediately. I was like, wow, this is like the most interesting style of hardcore I've ever heard, and like a really cool take on it. And I immediately texted our drummer Tommy, and I was like, yo, we should start a band that sounds like this, because this is really sick. And like ever since then, that was kind of the jump off was just that text. And then we met other people and kind of formed the band, and then started there, and it's been cool ever since.
That's awesome.
So how old were you guys when you guys started?
I think we had our first band practice January 1st of like 2016 now, and I think I like was just like freshly 17.
Wow, cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome that you mentioned Turning Point too, because that's like it's a crazy. I can hear it in there, and you guys took it to another level though. But
yeah,
definitely,
you.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like probably my favorite hardcore band of all time is probably Turning Point, just because that was like, it was like at that time I heard Have Heart, but for some reason I didn't really listen to Songs to Scream at the Sun yet, so I didn't really hear the really melodic stuff. It was just kind of like the Things We Carry, which is a little bit harder and like stuff like that. And then as soon as I heard Turning Point, it was like an instant connection. I don't know, it was just really weird. Just a kind of instant like immediate love for a band, which it always took me a little bit, because I'm like the type of person who's like, I listen to a band a couple of times and like it usually like grows on me a little bit more than it does like, but then there's certain bands that are just like immediate connections, and that's just like one I'll never forget, so, but
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think me and Mick feel like that about One Step Closer.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not really.
No.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome.
Yeah, totally. Every time I listen to you guys, it totally brings back so many memories for me of like, wow, going way back to the 90s. Like, one of the first big tours I got to go on was with Strong Arm, and then it was Shiloud's first run.
Oh, okay.
And it was with when some of the dudes from Strong Arm were actually in Shiloud, and just hearing you guys automatically takes me all the way back to that just awesome melodic hardcore, and I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful.
That's awesome. We were supposed to play a show with them. I think it was them and that band With Honor. They were doing some I think With Honor was doing like a couple like reunion shows, and we were supposed to play Connecticut with them, but they ended up canceling their show just because of the COVID and stuff like that. That was supposed to be back in like September, but we keep going through these like little like really high surges of COVID, and then it kind of drops off. And I think that was like during kind of like another high surge, so I think they were getting a little nervous, so they just like canceled the show. But yeah, that's awesome. I appreciate that a lot, for real.
I got a question for you. So I gotta talk about the band name. Can you tell us how you guys came up with the band name, and kind of if it has a special meaning to you guys?
So we were kind of like, I remember actually we pulled into a Sheetz in Wilkes-Barre the one night, and we were just bullshitting about names for like probably like 2 hours at that point, just back and forth. Like we were just driving around, like,
Right.
talking about names, and we were between like Half Step and then something else. But like for some reason, our bass player BT, he was like, yo, we should go for something that we could like do an acronym with. Like, he's like, if we do One Step Closer, like we could do OSC, and that's kind of like a cool thing. And he's like, that's something that's kind of catchy, and like people might just like always just refer to us like OSC, like people know that, and like it just kind of worked out like that. It's not because of the Linkin Park song, I promise you. It's not. I say it all the time. It's not. But
I'm surprised people ask you that.
Yeah, I get it all the time.
Right.
But no, I think it's funny. I think it's always like just like a good humor thing. It's never like an issue, or we like. But yeah, it was just kind of like OSC. It's just kind of catchy, rolls off the tongue. So we're just like, yeah, that's cool.
That's awesome.
So the new album is pretty killer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's being received pretty well. I'm checking out some of the stuff that Billboard has said. I'm checking out some of the stuff, other critics, and, of course, the hardcore community, I think, is totally wrapped their arms around it and love it pretty good. But
it's been a very, like, I don't know. We were kind of just talking about this the other day. It's always very nerve-wracking to put out something that you put a lot of work and like effort into, and then especially because this is our first LP, so like we were all kind of really nervous, like when it was, once we started like writing and recording, and then as soon as the record was done, we're like, oh, wow, I think we kind of like we really pushed ourselves and just kind of like we put our all into it, and we definitely put ourselves into it, and then I think the response has been way more than what we could have expected. I think we're all really stoked on it, and I think the Run for Cover signing and stuff like that kind of solidified that we got something here at least, or like if they like it, then hopefully everybody will like it. So, but yeah, I appreciate that a lot. I'm really stoked.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, like the writing process for that album, like what it kind of looks like?
So
OCS eyes.
So the writing process was kind of, it's the way we kind of work is like me and our drummer will kind of structure a song together, and then we'll kind of bring it to everybody else, and then we'll kind of dissect and like see if we want to change things around. And then Ross, who plays like lead guitar, he'll like layer over it with some like cool leads, and he's kind of doing like different parts while the rhythm is kind of just doing what I wrote on guitar. And then BT will just like throw some cool bass parts in it, and we all kind of have a cool, it's like kind of a weird way to go about it, but everybody ends up having like a piece of them in the music, and I think it really helps like make the music what it is, So, definitely. But yeah, that we kind of started writing. We were writing the fall of 2019, so that was a while ago already. But we started writing fall 2019, and then as soon as the pandemic hit, we had like 7 songs, and I was like, yeah, we just need to finish this thing up and just like, yeah, like let's just rock it and demo some songs. So me and our drummer Lily just for like pretty much a month or 2 straight, just like finished writing, demoed all the songs, and just like we're like, all right, we're ready to record. You know what I mean? Did some last touch-ups, and then yeah, that was pretty much it.
Wow.
Awesome.
What
about lyrics?
I was getting ready to ask that too.
Yeah, I'm like, well, the lyrics are lyrics first or last, or in the middle somewhere?
The lyrics are usually like right. I need to have the song structured, at least like even if it's just me and Tommy structure, like the song structured, like we have like a solid structure to it, I could start writing lyrics over that. But it's usually in the middle, like right after that's done, or right at the end once it's like pretty much like finalized that it's like a complete song. Just because it helps to be able to hear the whole thing, and like sometimes songs just convey a certain emotion to them, like just the instrumentals. So that kind of helps, like, oh, like I want to write this song about this because I get this kind of feeling from it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's where the lyrics lie.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the lyrics on this album are pretty deep too. Like there's some depth. You go to some depths with some emotions on this one, like quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's all kind of a time and place. You know what I mean? And I think the time and place of this record was just very hard on everybody, and especially on myself. And like it was just battling a bunch of different emotions. And I think because of that, the lyrics naturally just came out a little bit more sad. And I think that I felt like I kind of opened up more than I ever have, at least like lyrically. And I wanted to just convey like a true like expression of myself instead of trying to mask it because it felt like too much or because it wasn't, hardcore enough or something like that. I just wanted to be as blatantly open and honest, so it felt, and it was kind of, thank you.
It's great. Yeah, definitely.
It was kind of my escape for a little bit. I kind of needed that, so it definitely helped to like be able to put it down on paper and like kind of do it. So, but yeah.
It's very genuine. It comes off that way. It doesn't come out, contrived or trying to force it. It's very genuine. It's very helpful too.
Yeah. I tried. I felt like also it was kind of like I felt like I wasn't the only person, dealing with a lot of stuff at that time period. Yeah. So it kind of felt like I was hoping that people could just connect with what I was trying to convey and like my feelings and stuff, whether it's in the same way or in a different way, just because so many people were kind of struggling, at the same time. So it just felt right.
Awesome. So you guys are getting ready to do a stint in Europe this year, right? With Magnitude?
Dude, we're supposed to.
You're supposed. Oh no!
Yeah,
no.
So, yeah, stuff's getting rescheduled, which kind of sucks. But we're supposed to leave at the end of this month and do 2 weeks in Europe with Magnitude, but it ended up being like, within these past like 2 weeks, pretty much, it was just kind of like, hey, I think we should reschedule. And so we're working with our agent out there just to like, I think we're going to just push it to the fall, and we're trying to even just get the dates locked in now. So when we announce that we're rescheduling, it could be like, hey, we're rescheduling, but here are the dates. You know what I mean? So it's not, but yeah, I'm bummed. I was stoked to go back, because it would be like 2 years since we've been there last time, like pretty much in February. So, but yes, but we have some other stuff coming. We have that drug church run coming and stuff like that. So it's going to be awesome.
No, it's probably smart, in the long run.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too, where like, I don't want anyone in the band to get sick, and I don't want to like risk people getting sick or like anything like that. Like, it's just, I feel like if it wasn't as crazy over there right now, I would feel a little better, and we could just.
It's one thing if you get sick over here, and then it's another thing if you get sick across the pond.
Yeah, and we already
home.
Exactly, and we already had that kind of scare with like, because we were over there with Turnstile right before the pandemic happened, and we were literally over there when they announced the travel ban for like foreign countries. Yeah. So we literally were like we were trying to get flights, and it was just so stressful. Like we were up till like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like all of our friends are like, "Yo, you might not be coming back," and it's just like our families are calling us, and it was just so stressful, But like we ended up being only only missing out on like 2 shows, and it wasn't anything too crazy, but like we got home and that's literally we got home and we were just like, yeah, I don't know when we're ever going to play another show again. And we didn't end up playing another show for a year and a half, which is like crazy.
Wow.
Scary.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So we don't want to do that again.
No.
Definitely not.
You got to ask him, Mick, about the artwork.
Oh yeah. I do want to ask you that. What's with the artwork on the new record? Like, it's like this crazy Salvador Dali kind of I don't know, mixed with some Vincent van Gogh. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's I forget exactly the type of art we were talking about doing for it. I forget the exact term, but we found this dude. His name's Jeffrey Cam, and he did like a hoodie design for us before in the past, but like he has this very specific style of art, and we really, really loved it. And we're like, we kind of had this idea that because the whole theme of the record is kind of based around like our home and like Wilkes-Barre and stuff like that. So I live on like a big hill, and it overlooks the whole valley and stuff like that. So we kind of wanted it to be like from the perspective of like up on the hill looking down to the valley with like the river and like the Market Street Bridge and like then Wilkes-Barre like far off in the distance. And we kind of just like took some pictures and like sent it over to him, and he was able to put together this really, really cool piece of art for it, you know. And like he did the whole entire layout for us of art. So with like the gatefold, he did like a whole thing on. And then the back of the record has like, I literally took this picture from like when you're coming into Wilkes-Barre, you get off the highway and there's this like really windy road going down a mountain. And I just like snapped this picture the one day, and I was like, yo, this would be cool for the back of the cover, kind of like tie it all together. And he crushed that too. He's just a really talented guy. And like, I definitely suggest any band or like anyone that needs like cool artwork to definitely work with him, because he's awesome to work with and he really puts his heart into it.
I wrote his name down.
Yeah,
he's
great.
He killed it, man. He's pretty cool. Dude. Like that whole cover is just like got so much going on, but yet it's, I don't know, it's pretty cool. I think we were talking in the previous podcast, we both said it kind of reminded us of the Turnstile type cover. It's got that like pinkish glow to it, and it's just different. Yeah. It was really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we ever since the For Me to You record, we kind of like really wanted to like dial in like that kind of, not crazy, I wouldn't say crazy, but kind of like expressionist style like artwork to our stuff. And like it kind of like throughout all the artworks, it kind of like tells this story that we were always trying to convey of like, we had like a promo tape before For Me to You, and it was like of this painter guy with like a bucket of paint and like and he's like, and there's all these crazy doorways and stuff like that. And then that kind of leads into For Me to You, where it's like the same thing with the doorways and like all these crazy, like, you know, people and whatnot. And then we had the promo before this record, which was like another doorway leading out into something new. And then this was the something new still with the guy on the cover and stuff like that. So it all kind of like tells a story through like the last like 4 years of being a band in a way. Yeah.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah, it just kind of
I have my paint by numbers vinyl.
Cool. Yeah, I love that vinyl. I think our drummer came up with that, and I was like, dude, this is like the coolest idea, because like it really.
I see it. I'm like, no way.
Yeah,
no way I gotta grab one of those.
It reminds me of like stuff I used to do, you know, as a kid, like those little like color by number books and stuff like that, and it's just like.
Right.
Like that one, like I haven't done mine yet. I have a copy set aside to do it. I just haven't had the time to do it. But like just seeing other people do it and like post it on Instagram and whatnot, I was like, wow, it's just cool to have like some kind of element of like there's something you could do with it, not just like have it sit on your shelf or something like that. You could like draw on it and like, you know, make it something like unique.
Right. It's pretty cool.
You guys are always coming up with some crazy merch. and you guys are doing a pre-order, I think, that's coming out. That's a hoodie, right?
Yes, tomorrow. Yes. The Babe hoodie, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we did one in 2019 for the last back to school jam in New Jersey. That was the first time we ever did it. And then it sold out immediately, and it was awesome. And then we're like, all right, let's do a crazy camouflage one for FYA 2020. We did, and it sold out immediately. And we're like, all right, we're just going to do one more because it's the last, first FYA back, whatever. Let's just do something cool. And I came up with this colorway of banana split kind of looking colorway, that's the Dippin' Dots. I was literally oh, this looks like banana split Dippin' Dots. So, and I was like, if you're cool, you're gonna wear the pink hoodie or a white hoodie, and even right. If you're worried about getting them dirty, or if it's a hard color to pull off, whatever. That's the whole point of this design, because I want it to be something crazy. So, and then. Right. It sold out and people wanted it really bad. So we're just this will just be the last one, and we'll just put up a pre-order for it and, make it cool. So yeah, well, I feel bad. We like doing really limited merch. That's our thing. Right. We just we like to do exclusive stuff, and we like to put a lot of thought and effort. And some of the things just cost a lot of money because we are only getting so many, and we can only afford to get so much stuff. So I feel bad when people can't get stuff, but this one, I was just we could easily do this as a pre-order, and we'll just we'll make people happy, and so. Right. But yeah, we definitely try with the merch pretty hard.
It's awesome.
Thank you.
The audio tree sessions.
Yes.
How did that come about? It sounds awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I had a blast. That whole day was really fun. I think the audio tree stuff pretty much came from our dude Brian at Run for Cover. He was just yo, audio tree hit us up to have you guys, do something while you guys are out there. We should try to plan it around the same time that you're out there playing with Knocked Loose. So we're all right, yeah, that's perfect. So we literally showed up there at I think it was 11. Went in and we set up, and we recorded 1 or 2 songs, and they mixed it, and they're like, hey, do you like the way this sounds? And we're like, yeah, that sounds awesome. And then we did the live, packed up the van super quick right after, and then drove to the Metro in Chicago, and then played with Knocked Loose that night. Wow. So yeah, it was just a really fun day of things I never thought I'd be able to do, because I've been watching those audio tree things forever. Right. So it was just it was pretty surreal, and it was cool to be able to hear us playing in a studio setting like that, because we've never really done anything like that other than recording. But it was cool to play in a setting like that, and really I was paranoid about my vocals and stuff like that. I was I'm not gonna sound like shit. I can't sound bad. We had 2 shows before it, and I was I can't blow out my voice. I have to be I have to baby my vocals, and well, I gotta warm up, But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was really, really stoked to be able to do something like that,
Yeah, it's those sessions are always they sound so good, and they're produced so well. And then when you see bands that you really dig jump on those, you're like, oh man, this is going to sound really good. So
yeah. And everyone there was super great to work with, and just super hyped, and just excited, and just it was just good energy, and it just made it really fun.
Awesome. Well, we always, oh yeah. We always close all these interviews out with some fun questions. So okay. I'm gonna throw this one at you. What's one guilty pleasure TV show? It can be one that you're if people knew that you watched that, you'd be embarrassed, or it could be a good show that maybe, I don't know. But what's a good one?
I got two. I'll give you two.
All right.
So Dawson's Creek, I've been watching and loving like a bunch. And me and my girlfriend watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette like all the time. And I get super into it for some reason.
Yep. I don't know how many times we've done these, and somebody has always brought up The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
Yes,
it's
dude.
like all the time.
Bachelor in Paradise is amazing. It's so awesome. But yeah, those are definitely my two guilty pleasures, like shows right now for sure.
That's awesome. And this was not as funny, but it's still a good question. Like, if there's one album that's out right now that you really dig and you think other people should listen to, what is it?
Oh, definitely the Turnstile record, Glow On, for sure. Dude, their set at FYA really, it just blew me away. Plus, I love all those dudes, and they're all sweethearts and just like absolutely amazing musicians, and just like that record is really phenomenal, I think.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely agree.
I think anyone getting into hardcore or even like getting into alternative music in general, that's definitely a record to listen to and something that you could easily latch onto.
Yeah. I think something shifted when that album came out. I don't know how to explain it. Like, there's been a couple albums in the past that's done that, and I think it's going to do a lot of things for a lot of bands. Like, not just them. I think it's just going to open the door. And like,
I mean,
and
they're playing on live TV and stuff now, like, you know, and they're a hardcore band still, you know, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And it's just cool because, and like, you hear that album, but there's so many other bands like you guys, and I'm thinking of Change and Be Well and all these other bands, like, they're coming out with these great albums right now, and it's like, it's the perfect time to do it. Like, the door is opening wide, and so many opportunities for like almost like a brand new audience, like all these kids that, you know, maybe didn't get to experience like the hardcore scene or whatever. Now they're able to, this is like the, you know, the gateway or whatever to get them into it. So.
No, I completely agree. I think hardcore is like kind of at its like, it's having a moment, if that makes sense. It really is like, it's very, I guess you could say like popular or something, but like it is like, it's definitely getting a lot more attention from kids that have, especially even that band Drain, who I love Drain so much. And like, I love all those dudes as well. But like that band, like blowing up on TikTok too, like kind of helped like open this door of like all these random kids that are just like into like alternative stuff that now like love hardcore and like go crazy at hardcore shows. You know, it's like, it's cool. It's definitely, it's important. And I think especially in the middle of the pandemic, like when nobody really knew what was going to happen with like, are we going to come back and hardcore is just going to be kind of whatever, or are we going to come back and shows are going to be insane? And I think we really came back to some pretty crazy shows, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those bands like that, they're not going to leave the hardcore scene either. They're just going to make it bigger. You know what I mean? Like they're getting a lot more attention, but they're going to bring that attention back into the hardcore scene, which is it's pretty amazing. So
that's I think both of those bands are going to be doing a lot of cool stuff outside of hardcore, but it's always going to be brought, like you said, back to the roots. You know what I mean? And I think it's important. I think that's the same thing that OSC as a band, you know, strives to do as well. So
yeah, definitely. So you got anything you guys you want to shout out, or anything that, you know, we always, and on all our shows we always put links up for anything. So is there anything you want to shout out, or maybe you want to push, or that we can
you drink coffee?
I do drink coffee, but we don't have any local coffee shops around here that are like, really, it's like sad, dude. It's like I drink like Dunkin' coffee. It sucks. But like but I would like to shout out Bazaar Skateshop. Our homies opened up a skate shop in Scranton, and it's really, really awesome. And they've been doing some really, really cool stuff. So I definitely want to shout out Bazaar and just, you know, all our friends from Wilkes-Barre. So
awesome. Cool, man. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Dude, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
No problem. It was awesome. It was so cool to have you on, because like I said, last year I was like, dude, we got to get them on. That'd be so awesome. And you
here we
totally
are.
made that happen. Yeah, here we are.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm stoked, man. Thank you again. I always love doing podcasts because I just like talking and like meeting new people. You know, it's always a good time. So I appreciate you guys for asking me to be on this.
Oh, no problem, man. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Hell yeah.
All right, here we go with the album reviews. I'm going to jump right into this with Ends of Sanity from North Carolina. They represent North Carolina hardcore. If you love breakdowns, this is the band for you.
Yes.
It definitely got that like Hatebreed, maybe like early Bury Your Dead type vibe. I heard this for the first time. I think it came out like last January. And I heard it online, and I instantly loved it because, I'm all about that struggle, rise above storyline. The lyrics just they hit me right where everything gets me. So, and it starts out with Rocky.
Right.
So how can you not love it? Like, come on, But yeah, he did a great job writing the lyrics. That I know it's a bunch of dudes from some big time bands.
Yeah.
You got Life's Question, Dwell, Magnitude, Detriment. Seasoned hardcore veterans. So great album. You definitely got to check it out. New Morality Design released, I believe, their vinyl. They had a tape released by Days. So it's great stuff for sure. I think my favorite song was probably Gift of Suffering, but Hope at the bottom is equally as good. So it's definitely some cool hardcore.
So between the two, which one do you think you should drop?
So I'm gonna be really greedy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say let's drop the first two tracks because Taking Souls goes into Gift of Suffering.
Okay.
And that's gonna give everybody that Rocky introduction.
Awesome.
So I would say Taking Souls into Gift of Suffering. So let's drop that shit.
All right, here it comes.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
Pain, face, your mind, stays. Pain, face, your mind, stays. Look inside to see what you can find. The time has come to control your mind. Behind these eyes you can no longer hide. You must become the machine you were destined to be. Look inside for your mind now. Look inside, take your mind back. Look inside for your mind now. Look inside, take your mind back.
Awesome. All right, so I've got one word for this self-titled album, and that is big. It's huge. The sound of this album is huge, and of course they just heard it, but yeah, I was hooked, like you said, on the once Rocky came in. But it's big. It's definitely Smash Mouth. Like it just doesn't stop, and the sound is so huge, and the bass tone, man. Gosh. The bass tone is just killer. It's just rips. It's like, what? But yeah, huge sound for them. I dig it.
Yeah, I see. I even saw, I think online that what's his name? Joe from Advent was playing drums for a little bit. Yeah, that's killer. So I know they just recently played some shows along the East Coast, and it looked like they had a lot of fun for sure.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna throw mine out here now. All right. It's the Abstain demo that dropped in October. 4 songs of pure 90s beat down hardcore. Just totally reminds me of like the whole Earth Crisis mixed with a little bit of Unbroken, totally a hybrid like between the two. When this album, when the first song kicks in, it just made me feel like I was back in the 90s and I was at some VFW or YWCA, and I'm like kind of hanging out off to the side, and all of a sudden you hear the first riff kick in, and I'm like, why am I not up front for this band? Like it has that feel, that intensity, like this is the band that you wanted to see at the show, or the one that would be like the surprise, like who's these guys? And then they kick in, and you're like, holy crap, what the heck? Right. But yeah, man, just full on, heavy, just steal the show, in my opinion. And it's not one of those things like where it's a total throwback, like it's they're just wanting to relive the 90s. No, they definitely put their twists on it. It's just almost like they pay homage to it, and then kicks its ass, and then just takes over and does its own thing. Like it's only 4 songs, and I automatically want more. I'm like, oh god, did it end it on the 4th one? Come on, you got to have more than that. So yeah, and just to me, the song "Dual Allegiance" it's just yeah. So that's the song. That's the song I want to drop. So
yeah, let's drop it.
We're gonna drop it. Here it is.
But the trouble was the institution. The institution was wrong. It doesn't matter whether you do it nicely or not nicely. People, the idea that a person should be owned is just an intolerable infringement on human rights.
Just
Without intensive effort by all community forces, very few drug addicts can ever expect to return to a normal, useful life in society.
So what did you think?
That album was the EP, I guess it's their first demo. Great stuff. I did look them up. They're from San Diego, so another bunch of talented kids from San Diego. They got that straight edge vibe too, which I love. And definitely the 90s, early 2000s. I'm like, oh, here we go. Like that just pulls me right in because that's like my era. But it's really good. I like the Prisoner to None too. It's just very, they're doing their own thing too. You know, it's not right. It's similar to me, but it's different. So I'm really excited for what's next from them. I think they're gonna grow, and it's definitely some cool beatdown stuff for sure.
You know, well, and I even love, like, I read somewhere too, like they totally were paying homage to, like, at least, like, we want to continue on like the feel of Unbroken and Mean Season, and you know, just what was that straight edge scene that was happening there in San Diego. They just wanted to carry it on, and I just thought that was cool. I was like,
you can hear it in it big time.
Because to me, those two bands, when in the 90s, for me, Mean Season and Unbroken were probably the two most emotional, like kick you in the head, like wake you up, like just, you know, blanket in D4 by Unbroken, like, oh, dear God, the lyrics of those two songs. And I'm like, they just want to carry on that kind of punch you in the gut. Like, yeah, we can drop some hardcore, but you're also going to get hit upside the head with some pretty powerful lyrics. So
they killed it. They definitely killed it.
Yeah. So what you got next?
All right. So this one is Worth It. Yes. They're from Spain. So I'll do a little background. So I found these guys on Bandcamp. Like I was just like searching for, I don't even know if it was hardcore or something. And I saw the word conviction. So I'm like, oh, there we go. I can relate to that. So it sucked me in. I see it. It's 8 songs. So it's an LP, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. So me personally, like I picture Spain. I'm like, okay, that's like a beautiful country, beautiful people. Right. And then there's just this nasty hardcore band that's like dropping these like heavy bass tones. I'm like, yes, what is this? And where did it come from? Like, this is crazy. So yeah, I mean, you got to listen to it. Like the EP starts slow for me. So it's got the intro. I hear Convictions, like, okay, I see what they're doing. And then I get into the third song, Approval, and I'm like, oh man, like this it's just making me move. Like it blew me away. And the heavy bass tone is just, it's incredible. I'm like I can't stop moving, listening to it. It's crazy. So I go from that. And then, you know, the lyrics too. Yeah. He's got a line in there. He's like, what does he say? You're wasting time, make a difference for once. Like, I'm just like, all right, now I gotta make a difference. Like he's got me convinced. Like, it's good stuff. It's positive. You know, it's all around. It's great hardcore. Yeah, for sure. I really, really enjoy this album. It's way up there in my last year's releases. In the top 5 for sure. Wow.
What song you want to drop?
I gotta do Never Cared, because that bass line introduction is just you'll see. You gotta drop it. Drop this and let them hear it. All right, here we go.
Your back, but thoughts are lost or given. It seems to be your destiny.
So I got to say, number one, that's gosh. But number two, I need to say thank you.
Right.
Because I had never heard of these guys before. And then, we were shuffling around like around Christmas, like what stuff we're going to, talk about on this first episode. And then you sent that and I was drawn in by the cover because it's just real simple. Right. Yeah, and then I was like, and then I saw they were from Spain and I'm like, okay. And then it kicked in and I'm like, what? And the bass player's a beast. Like like just all over the place. And it totally like the whole feel and everything it's just this real melodic, like it's beautiful, but nasty at the same time. Like they're dropping riffs like crazy. And you throw in all the sing-alongs. It's like you just like you have headphones on and you're listening to this and you want to like jump on the microphone and then scream along and then flip into the crowd. Like it's just kind of the type of band it is. And I'm like, I instantly was trying to find like, I got to see these guys live somewhere. I got looking for them on YouTube because I was like, their shows got to be crazy. And plus I just want to see the bass player play because he's like all over the place. But yeah, I really dug it. I wish I would have found this last year because it would have been in my top whatever that we did for Coffee and Hardcore. I definitely would have had them up there. I just dig it. They're riffs for days, like the bass player and the guitar player. Just
racing. I feel like the guitar's just racing. It's like you can't sit still, and I don't know how you can't like it. Like it's just it's so good. And they do have some previous stuff too. Yeah, but I would definitely say this is my favorite from them. But it was a cool find for sure.
I checked out their earlier stuff and it was cool because their earlier stuff they're giving away. Like you totally could get it for free, and the newer stuff they're totally selling. And then I was like trying to find like I want a shirt. Like how do I get a shirt? And they're all sold out. And I'm like, come on, man. Hopefully they'll drop some more stuff. But yeah, and then the cool thing is like you introduced me to these guys, and then I was on their Instagram and looking around, and then I found another band that they kind of play a lot of shows with, the Vibora band, and they're amazing too. And I'm like, man, can you imagine going to a show with both of those guys? I'm like, geez, but yeah, totally dig. Worth it, man. That's a killer album. I'm so glad you sent that my way. So yeah,
it's awesome. You can start that list of things I wish I had listened to last year.
Yes,
I have one going already.
All right, so I'm gonna throw out my other one. All right,
here we go.
It's Invocation. Album is Clarion Call. 5 songs. The album just dropped in December. And man, here's another one that's got that old school 90s hardcore vibe. And it's probably one of the first albums that I've heard where the vocalist reminds me of Sean Jonas from the All Else Failed album. I'm listening to it. I'm like, that sounds like Sean. And then I'm like, I know who Sean wanted to sound like. Sean wanted to sound like Jason Stinson from Overcome. So there's this weird hybrid of like When Beauty Dies, that Overcome album, and All Else Failed, like the vocal sound of it with just killer, like 90s influence hardcore. It's gosh, it's good. They're a Krishna conscious band, which is like them and Godhead, and then that band, I think it's called Safe, right? Is it the other band?
Yep, Safe.
So there's
Safe.
there's some killer Krishna bands coming out in 2022. Right. I don't even know how to. It just kind of came out of nowhere and slapped me upside the head, like what? And I found these guys because Wiley's all into Godhead, and which we could probably break the news on that. We're gonna have them on in a couple months. Yep. And that album, that EP was crazy awesome. But I was just reading some stuff about Godhead, and I found like, oh, who's this band called Invocation? And then so we, got into them, and because my wife Lindsay really digs Godhead now, and then so we were jamming out to Invocation, and I dig it. The song Mirage, it's a killer song, like,
dude.
Yeah,
drop Mirage.
All right, here it comes.
Let him hear it.
All right. So yeah, what did you think about this?
So I got even another vocalist to bring up, because I kept on hearing the guys yell and scream, and I'm like, all right, so he keeps reminding me of somebody. I don't know who it is, so it clicked tonight. When he's yelling, at some points he does sound like the dude from VOD.
Yes,
from the song Disease, I'm like, dude, that is that. I was a huge VOD fan back in the day, and I'm like, oh, this guy, he sounds great. Like it's right there. And I love the 90s. The 90s influence on all these bands coming around is crazy. Like I'm just eating it up. Like I can't get enough. And I know there's gonna be even more. But yeah, this is great. Rebirth is a great song. You sent me this. And then you like, check this out, and you sent me Save It. I'm like damn, like these things he's a killer. Like,
I know.
It's good. It's great stuff. Where are they from? Do you know where they're from?
They're from California, but I can't remember
California.
Where I thought I wrote it down, and Wiley's going to be ticked because he always is the one that takes care of all that. But I cannot. I thought I wrote it down. I must have wrote it on another notebook. But yeah, I know they're from California, and they're just. I think they're just young guys. I mean, I know they were in another band, and I cannot remember what the other band was before they kind of just the singer and a couple shifted into this one.
Yeah. No, it's good, and it just came out too, right? Like, I mean, I think in December. So
yeah, it came out in December.
It's fresh off the press, and I mean it's great. It's great. Again, all this 90s stuff is just,
I know,
for guys like me and you, we're just eating it up, man.
And it's not like they're copycatting either. It's their own thing, and it just has that homage. Yep. I think I can use that word. Yeah, and it's good stuff. And I didn't even think of VOD until you said that, and it's totally there. It's
so there, like the scream part, and I'm like, I remember those days.
It's crazy because a little bit of nostalgia and a little, maybe we can Kevin Bacon VOD into this conversation. The very last show that I played was with VOD and Earth Crisis.
Oh, really?
It was Zao, Earth Crisis, and VOD. That was my last show that I ever played with Zao. Yeah, it was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh.
Club Laga. That's where it was at. Yeah.
That must have been a good show.
Yeah, VOD destroyed.
Oh yeah,
so did Earth Crisis. But
I remember every time I saw them play when I was younger, it was so much energy. The singer diving off of like stereo equipment. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Like he was just out of control, but very cool in the same way.
Right.
Good stuff.
Well, because of Wiley, Uncle Wiley messaged us. He was like, have you guys recorded the last part of January yet? No.
Right.
He's like, well, I got something for you. And so, and this album drops tomorrow.
Yes.
So Dios Quiere, which we had Ruben on last year, they're dropping their new album, Soy Guerra. It's a 4-song release from New Morality. Are they doing the digital too? Or are they just doing that? Like they're going to do a LP, you think, or not an LP, but a 7-inch? Or
I don't know if they're doing a 7-inch. I thought I saw tapes.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Yeah,
and maybe I wouldn't be surprised if it's pressed. I know New Morality Zion has been killing it. We just talked about Ends of Sanity. They released that, helped release some of that stuff, and they've been dropping some killer stuff. But these guys are pretty cool. So the album is the EP that they're coming with. It's Sun and War.
Yeah,
that's what the Soul Korea stands for. And then obviously the artwork. I love the artwork because I saw the Crown of Thorns, and if anybody's ever checked out the Straight Edge for Christ page, they know that that's a go-to for me. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually heard them a while back from Wiley because he had posted their single, Crime Wave, which came out a few months ago.
Yeah.
And he was sharing it a bunch. I'm like, this is pretty thrashy. I like this stuff. Very heavy. I think they're from Chicago, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're from Chicago.
Yep. The meaning of their name is God willing. And I think I even read that a couple of the songs, or one of the songs maybe about like being in a gang or gang life, stuff like that. So it's cool stuff. Yeah, I love the vocals.
Oh yeah,
it's
Ruben's vocals are a force to be reckoned with. Like you cannot. They just straight up reach through whatever you're listening in this from, and he just grabs you by the throat. Like it's that intense. This album is just vicious. It's 4 songs and it's just vicious. It builds on from the last EP that they released, but just explodes. And the guitar tone is like it's an invading army that's just leaving nothing behind. It's just taking over. And then you got Ruben's vocals that come in, just slapping you around. You just feel like you're listening to this and you feel like you're being invaded. And it's like it invades your personal space. Like that's what I felt like when I listened to this. Like Wiley sent this. Was it last night he sent it?
Yeah, last night.
He sent it to us last night, and so I listened to it some last night, but I listened to it more today, and I just felt like the entire time, like I felt like it was just right here in my face. Like it was just totally,
it's like gets right up in your face.
Yeah, just totally.
It's a good mix of stuff too. It's like thrash, hardcore, and even it's got a little bit of just like straight up metal.
Yeah,
like in there, it's pretty cool. And in Desperate Measures, the vocals with the echoing,
yes,
like that caveman type, like
Yep.
It's pretty cool, man. Like I think that song is gonna elevate them, because that song right there was, to me, like, wow, like, okay, I see where you guys can go with this, because it's killer.
Right.
And their future, it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. This one's already up in my, it's already up there in my top for 2022. It's already up there. It's already in my top releases. Like I'm super, good stuff is coming with these guys. I think they're gonna.
It's all around. It's great. Like it's got a little bit of everything for everyone, and very well produced. You definitely hear that they took their time writing the songs and putting it together, and they really killed it. They did a great job. So that they should be very proud of these songs for sure.
Yeah. There they are. There's our albums. Listen, there is so much good music in this section. Right? Like, I don't even know what to do. Like this is we always do the set list like for on Spotify, and there's gonna be so much good music in that one. Like I'm just gonna drive around and listen to that for the next month. Like there's no reason to not. Like it's so good. So yeah, awesome. All right, it's that time of the show when we talk coffee. We talked hardcore. Now we're gonna talk coffee, and I got some good coffee this week or this month. I think.
What you got?
I got this stuff. My sister got this for me for Christmas, and I know as soon as I start talking about it, like I know, like I'm automatically going to like Wiley, and then Jacob from Oak and Crow, and even Mark. I'm drinking some stuff from Mark Sylvester. Like Mark Sylvester. We had him on the show last year, and he's been working on his own roasting. And
nice.
So I'm trying out some of his stuff. But as soon as I mention what this is, they're gonna like boo me out of the house. But I don't care. This stuff is good. It's Moose Munch Gourmet Coffee.
Moose Munch.
Yes, Moose Munch from Harry and David. It's milk chocolate caramel. It is delicious. And this isn't something that like it's not an everyday coffee. This is like a Sunday brunch. Like you just want a little something that's got a little sweetness to it, and you just want to chill out. Maybe eat some waffles. This stuff is good. I don't know where my sister got it from. I looked it up online, and it looks like they just kind of sell it in some different places.
Yeah.
But honestly, all you got to do is type in Moose Munch coffee, and it comes up everywhere. But man, it is good stuff. It has this nice caramel undertone. So if you drink it straight up black, it's not too much. It's just kind of right there. It hits you just right. It's a medium roast coffee.
Nice.
But if you're like me, if you add a little bit of sweetener and a little bit of cream, it seriously is like going to a coffee shop and ordering some $10 drink. But I just made it in my own little coffee cup.
It's like a dessert coffee.
Yeah, it's a great sweet dessert coffee. Yeah.
Awesome.
Once you add a little bit of sugar, it just totally the caramel pops. You can taste a little bit of the chocolate, and it's good. I dig it quite a bit. It's not, like I said, it's not an everyday coffee. It's not something that I'm going to drink like all the time. But like on a Sunday afternoon, if I want something to drink and just want a little bit of sweet, boom, there it is. It's delicious. I love it.
I'm definitely have to check that out because I love my sweets. For sure.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So what do you got?
So I got so I'll do a little story with it because I'm the type of guy with my coffee, since I'm kind of new to this show. I find something I like, I stick with it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, I gotta find some coffee to like review because I can't just review the same thing over and over again. So I went on Instagram, of course, because that's where everything is. Right. And I Googled coffee, and next thing you know, I find this company in New York. It's Brainwashed Coffee.
Okay.
And they sucked me in because I saw, number one, first thing I saw was 50% of all the proceeds go to support addiction and recovery.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, well, that's, a background that I know very well. So let's check it out. So I go in and I start reading some of the names of the coffee, and I just start dying. Like, I mean, it's just the sense of humor is just right up my alley. So the first coffee I see is your ego ain't your amigo. And I'm like, oh man, I'm like, here we go. So of course I have to get that. And I get it. And it's very similar to what you described with your coffee. It's caramel, it's got chocolate, it's sweet. It was really good. It's very sweet. So, I still have a bunch because it's only, once in a while type of drinking. But the one that I really want to focus on is their coffee higher powder.
Higher powder?
Higher powder.
Okay.
This is a coffee for if you have a list of things to do.
Okay.
You drink this coffee because then you will definitely complete that list. I think you had a coffee similar in a recent Yeah, that you said you finished some project. Yeah, so
I ripped the carpet out of the house. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I could literally like paint my whole house in like a day drinking this coffee. But yeah, it has a punch. It's a Papua New Guinea roast. It's big body chocolate smoke, and it's not too smoky. So I don't know. Like it's got a good taste, but it's got a kick, man. Like it definitely has a kick. And I love the brand. I mean, I was nervous because I'm like, okay, well, they're giving away half of their proceeds to this. They get the names. I'm like, is it just a kind of like a whole song and dance?
Right.
But no, the coffee's really good though. Like it's really good. I bought more, some others to try. It's great. Like I really love what they're doing, with the addiction and recovery. And I'm not going to read it because on the back of each coffee, they have like a little thing for each coffee, and it's a riot. So you gotta buy their coffee, help their cause. They have the hashtag clean your bean. So, and their logo's a little coffee cup with a brain coming out of it. It's just, it's killer. It's all the guy who's doing the marketing. It's from front to back. He's killing it, and it's great coffee. I haven't had each one that I've tried. It has been great. Like, it's well worth the money. It's pretty cool. And you can, when you buy it, you can do a little tip, and you can buy somebody else a coffee, stuff like that. It's cool.
Awesome. I'm checking out their Instagram now, and it's legit. This is awesome.
I think he just dropped a hot sauce or something too. I'm like, oh man, that coffee hot sauce.
Yep. Brainwash coffee off the sauce. Coffee hot sauce. What?
Right.
Jeez, that's hilarious. Oh man, the prices are good too. I'm checking out.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's really good. I mean, the higher powder it's great coffee. I gives me the energy, but it's good. It goes down nice and smooth. The caramel stuff, their sweet stuff is very sweet, and it's good too though. I mean, it's my wife loves it.
So I'll have to get some of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, there's your coffee reviews, man. This is a good show. You got one step closer. You got all those bands to listen to, and then you got some great coffee to try.
Yeah, great coffee.
Yeah. Killer. Awesome. All right. So we're at the end of this episode.
Crazy.
And this has been a good one.
Oh yeah.
Chock full of good stuff. Like, man, for season 3, episode 1, this is pretty killer. I think
everyone's got some killer music to check out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, this year, what else is going to happen? Like, there's so much, I hear so much stuff coming out. Like, this is going to be a pretty crazy year for hardcore. I think I'm stoked. So it's going to be good.
There's a lot of awesome, concerts I see coming. There's one that's out there that I don't know if you
maybe a little too good to be true.
Yeah, maybe a little too good to be true in Las Vegas. But
we were kind of talking about that because, like, what is it? There's hundreds of bands playing, and it's all for one day. And like, I was watching this one guy, and he was doing the math. He was like, so if you do this, and you got 3 stages, and it's between this time, then every band would play 11 minutes.
Right.
I'm like, what?
The best thing is that whole thing dropped, and then it just covered social media, obviously. Yeah. And then the next day, everybody started changing the band names, and then the third day, I started seeing people say, "If you post about that concert one more time, I'm defriending you." Like it's gotten crazy, and I still to this day I'm like, I don't even think this thing's real, but maybe it is. I mean, time.
Well, when you looked at the fine print and saw like there's no refunds,
right?
Like, so okay, like this
no
this
sponsors.
Far out. Yeah, no sponsors. It's this far out. Like, you could buy tickets for it and get a hotel room, and then something happens and it don't happen. You don't get your money back.
Right.
And I guess that company has done that before.
Yes.
So, gosh.
In this day and age, you need that refund guarantee because you never know with the way the world's going right now.
Right.
But
so
craziness.
If you wanted our opinion, we would say maybe not buy those tickets.
Yeah.
And possibly see what Furnace Fest is doing.
Right. Yeah, Furnace Fest seems more of a go-to.
Yeah,
for sure.
Audio feed,
audio feed
in July, which there might be. You may hear a little announcement about that. In the near future. We can't really say a whole lot, but there might be something going on there. I don't know. I might get in trouble for saying all that, but
I seen my buddies Doulos from California. I saw them. They're gonna be an audio feed.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Look, it's barring anything COVID happening, it looked like it could be another pretty sweet thing too. So yeah, maybe invest in some of those things and stay away from that other one. I don't know.
That and records, of course.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, good having you on, man, for a show. Killer.
Thanks, man. It's fun. It's definitely fun. I can't wait. Who are we talking? Who do we have next?
Oh, you asked me too quick because I was actually going to bring that up. So now I got to get on my phone and look it up.
The world? Is it the world?
I think that is who it is.
I think that's what it is.
I think it is.
It's a Boston band. I should know.
It is. It's the world. Yes. Yeah. I'm pretty stoked to have them on. That album they got dropping is already dropped is going to be.
It's all right. Yeah. They got some heavy stuff. We'll save it for next show, but it would be cool to have a Boston band on here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. All right, man. Well, if you like what you hear, I'm gonna do what Wiley hates us to do. Follow us on Spotify. You can now rate. You can legit say, hey, you guys are sweet. Like, I'll give you a 4. Like, if you like us, give us 4 or 5. If you don't like us, don't rate us at all.
If you don't like us, give us a 5 just for sympathy.
Yeah. Just give us a 5 for sympathy. You can do the same thing on Apple Podcasts, and like we're everywhere else. Like, you name a podcatcher, we're on it. So find us, like us, follow us on social media. You can go there and leave comments and and all that stuff. All of that helps us get the message out of what we're trying to do, which is get all these bands that we really dig, that are awesome, this newer stuff that's out. We just want to get into people's ears. So, and plus tell you about some good coffee to drink. So help us help others out. There you go. So
awesome.
Until next time. This has been Coffee and Hardcore.
Peace.
Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, bullshit on. Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore. Do it right. We got the combo, we got the juice, we got the joke, we got reviews, we got the gold from you out the border. If you like the back, you better support them. Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, bullshit on. Coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore, coffee and hardcore. Come on, try to line.
Damn good coffee. And hot.